this children's playhouse. I'll build a Dutch door, put some trim around all the windows, and make a railing for our front porch. Also, I'll show you how I put the wood shingles on the roof. That's coming up next, right here on the New Yankee Workshop.
The New Yankee Workshop features the craftsmanship of Norm Abram.
If you'd like to build this children's playhouse, a measure drawing is available with a materials list, and you'll hear more about that before this program ends. Before we get started today, I want to take a moment to talk about shop safety. Be sure to read, understand, and follow all the safety rules that come with your power tools. Knowing how to use your power tools properly will greatly reduce the risk of personal injury. And remember this, there is no more important safety rule than to wear these safety glasses. Now, yesterday I shingled the roof. It takes about a day. Let me show you how I got started. To give the plywood on the roof some additional protection from moisture, I've installed a layer of 15-pound tar paper. I stretched a chalk line from the face of the rake board on this end all the way to the rake board on this end to act as a guide for the butt end of the shingle, giving me the correct overhang. I also want to allow the shingle to overhang the rake board about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch. These shingles are Western red cedar, and they're a grade called Perfection. I want to secure them in place using some 3-penny galvanized hot dip box nails. But because the shingle is only about 3/8 of an inch thick where I'm going to be nailing, and the plywood is only a 1/2 inch thick, I'm going to have to trim the nails on this first course, otherwise they'll stick through. So just using lineman pliers, I'll cut them off. So I want to make sure that there's no chance of any nails sticking through that the children might bump into. The next shingle down the line, I don't want to butt it up tight. I want to hold it a minimum of 1/8 and a maximum of a 1/4 inch between to allow expansion when they get wet. Now I'm going to move down to the other gable end and put a shingle on. You might note that I only use 2 nails per shingle at all times. With this shingle installed, I'll just fill in between the 2 ends. With the starter course complete, I now will cover it with another course of shingles, making sure to bridge over the joints. And I like to hold the shingle down just about a 1/16 of an inch lower to let the water drip off. For the second course, I'm going to tack a nail here, 4 inches up from the bottom edge of the shingles, so I can hook my chalk line on. Bring it down the other end. Mark my exposure again at 4 inches. And snap a line, which I'm going to use as a guide for a straight edge, which is just going to be this piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I just want to tack it with a couple nails right to the line. Now that gives me a ledge onto which to set the shingles for the second course. I'll do the same procedure up the roof. Now at the intersection where the roof pitch changes and where we meet up with the vertical wall, I want to install some flashing. I'm using a 6-inch wide lead. Now just using a block of 2x4 to form it. Now where the roof pitches change, I'm going to use a little wider piece of lead, an 8-inch piece, and I'm going to lay it up onto the other roof, tack it in place, and then I'm going to make sure it comes up onto the side wall, trim it out a bit, and bend it around the corner. Okay, that takes care of that corner. Now I can start running the shingles up this little side roof. With the starter course installed, I now have to flash where the sidewall meets the roof, and that process is known as step flashing. So I start out with a piece of 5x7 aluminum, which I bought at the lumberyard as step flashing. I want to bend it in half along the long dimension, so it's approximately 90 degrees, a 90-degree bend. Set it on the roof, shingle, and tack it to the side wall. Now I can place the shingles over it. Now this first full course, I'm going to extend down beyond the butt edge of the shingles underneath so that it'll help hold this flashing down. Plus it'll look a lot better. After I install each course, I want to put in another piece of step flashing, making sure to hold it up high enough so it's just above the new course line. Well, that's the last of the tricky ones. The rest of the roof is completed using the same techniques you've already seen.
Coming up today on HGTV Daytime.
I get revenge on those snails that munch on my plants. How do I do that? Well, by munching those mucilaginous mullets myself. That's on the next Homegrown Cooking.
Have fun with your food. Don't miss Paul James' Homegrown Cooking today at 1 on HGTV Daytime.
With over 800 tax law changes, doing your own taxes can be a nightmare.
Hey.
Hi, Bill from H&R Block.
What are you doing in my dream?
Well, it's tax time. Trying to save you some anxiety.
Thanks.
H&R Block. We know. Do you?
Forecast mostly sunny skies.
It's my biggest story ever.
Let's run with it. Nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Exactly.
What tipped you off?
Let's just say there was something in the air.
Food Network. Something different, something fresh, and a place to share it. People everywhere are connecting with Food Network to satisfy their curiosity, share real stories, and experience the unexpected. Food Network showcases the heartful, the artful, and the eclectic, with programs and personalities that inspire and inform. Food Network, television that's full of flavor. If you don't get Food Network, call your local cable operator or satellite provider for details.
Wood shingling the roof was a lot of fun, and it sure makes the Playhouse look great. When all the shingles are installed, the last thing to do is put a cap over the ridge. There's one board that runs along the back and 3 pieces that run along the front, just lap one over the other, and nailed together, and the whole assembly is attached to the roof with some screws. Now down here on the side of the dormers, there's a little cheek wall. I pre-cut some pieces of siding and just glued the tongues and grooves together to make a little panel. The panel just slips in under the rake board, and I attach it with some screws, and then I put a little corner board, just like the ones I made below, to cover the corner. Here on the workbench, I've set up the boards that I'm going to use to make the door. They're 1x4 square-edge cedar with a V-groove. I have 7 boards spread out, which is the approximate width of the door. If I hook my tape on the groove side and measure out the finished width, which is 19.5 inches, you can see I'm just going to have a little tiny piece of the groove edge of a board, and that's not good. So what I'm going to do is center the door on these pieces. If I take 1.5 inches off of each edge board, that should do the job. To minimize splinters, I'm running the sawn edges through my benchtop joint. These cleats will be used to hold the boards for the door together. The cleats are attached to the door boards with some 1¼ inch galvanized bugle head screws in some pre-drilled holes. No glue because we have a cross-grain situation. The cleats alone are not enough to support the door. I need a brace. And when the brace is installed, we get what is known as a Z-brace. To lay out the brace, what I do is hold it flush to the edge of the cleat, both at the bottom and at the top. And to get the angle, I use my bevel gauge, which I can set by sliding it against the cleat and the brace piece, and bring it to the top. Lay out the angle here and down here. That is going to be a very strong door. Now we're just going to chamfer all the edges.
Some nations are born. This one was built. Built by heroes who for 97 years have driven trucks with the strength to match their own. The GMC Yukon continues this tradition. An SUV that combines comfort with the power to do more than expected. So do the heroes out there, we make this promise. You keep building this land, we'll supply the trucks. The Yukon by GMC.
Every day, more people are choosing Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. And here's why.
No one else sells more lawn and garden supplies.
Virtually any type plant you need, Lowe's has it.
A jungle's worth of trees and shrubs.
All back for a full year. Plus everyday low prices guaranteed.
Business is really blooming around here.
After all, you can't spell flowers without Lowe's. When it comes to home improvement,
Lowe's knows.
Lowe's, proud sponsor of 1999 Special Olympics World Games.
Don't wait in line, shop online. Shopping.com is the best way to shop 24 hours a day. You'll find over 250,000 CD titles, and all Billboard Top 40 CDs are just $8.97 each every day. Millions of brand name products at everyday low wholesale prices. Get Jules' latest CD, Spirit, for only $8.97. Plus, we've got great prices on thousands of other titles. We're the final word in low prices, period. Check out our new communication center and build your own website and get your own email account free. www.shopping.com. Shop us on the internet.
I know what you're thinking. 10-10 this and 10-10 that. You got tens and tens coming out of your ears. You're confused. I understand that. I'm confused. Well, here's a number that can actually clear things up. 1010 ATT00. It's for directory assistance. They can help you find any number in America, even if you're a little confused.
1010 ATT00. For directory assistance, it's the only number you need to know.
Now I'm confused again. Question. Why?
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deardorff. Where would you go for a home equity loan? Let's ask. Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advanta National Bank is different. They lend money to people when they need it.
Right. With my credit?
They made their first loans 45 years ago to teachers who had trouble borrowing. They helped out when others wouldn't.
This is a bank, right?
With customers who get the flexibility only a national bank can offer, right over the phone.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advanta. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment, save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction.
You'll wait for some board to approve.
You'll get fast approval over the phone. And your money in about 10 days. You don't need to have money in the bank to get money from a bank. To get the loan you want, call Advanta at 1-800-453-0354. You'll see they're different. Hey, they don't keep banker's hours either.
At the top of the lower door, I want to put a little shelf. And I have to mark it to make a notch so it'll clear the door jamb. And to make sure there's no sharp corners, I use my compass to lay out a little radius. I'm installing the door using these galvanized T-hinges. Boy, the kids are going to have fun with this. When I install Z-braces on doors, I like to have the upper part of the Z-brace away from the hinge and have it angled down to meet the lower hinge. Now this little barrel bolt will secure the doors together. Now I can do the stops. The door frame and jamb is made from a piece of 1x6. First I ripped the strip 2 3/4 inches wide for the jamb and connected it with a butt joint at the corner. The exterior casings are 2 inches wide and I reveal them back about 1/4 of an inch. The head casing is also 2 inches wide and I'm going to let the ends stick by 3/8 on each end. Now let's see how this door jamb fits. That's good. Now just nail the casing into the side and the jamb into the 2x4s. Now for a threshold, I took a piece of square edge fir and just beveled the edges, and I'll just nail that in place. Now here's one of the window assemblies. It just slips in the opening. There's a window sill with a little molding under it to cover the joint in the opening. I have casings just like on the door and a jamb. I also installed this set of mutton bars. I won't attach it in place right now. I want to paint it the final color. But let me show you how I made the window. The first thing to do is notch the window sill so that it'll fit into the frame opening. Next, I want to chamfer all the outside edges. Now I can attach the jamb sides to the sill. Now the headpiece of the jamb. Now the side casings, once again leaving about a 1/4 inch reveal on the jamb. And now the head casing with the same overlap as the door. Now the little molding that goes under the sill. Here are the two mutton bars. I've laid out right along the center where I need to make a notch for a half lap and clamp them together so I can notch them both at the same time. A little glue on each side of the joint, and I'll pin them together with some 3/4 inch brads and then route the edges. I'm just going to hold the mutton flush with the inside and fasten it with some finish nails. Now, even though the mutton pattern and the window dimensions may vary, all the rest of the windows are made the same way.
Order a home video of the project you've just seen Norm build, complete with a measured drawing and materials list. Call toll-free 1-800-892-0110. The price is $24.95 plus shipping and handling. Get the measured drawing alone for only $10. The number again is 1-800-892-0110.
For the sore, red nose, Kleenex presents the Better Lotion Tissue. Cold Care with lotion. It's better than the other lotion tissue. Only Cold Care has the 3-layer system, plus a moisturizing lotion made with vitamin E and aloe. Tests prove Cold Care is more soothing than the other lotion tissue. It's the Better Lotion Tissue, so Kleenex Cold Care is all your nose needs.
Some came to hide out, others to write. Some fled conformity. Some came for the weekend and never went home. The Florida Keys and Key West.
Every day, more people are choosing Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. And here's why. Look up plumbing in the dictionary, and you'll find Lowe's.
Lowe's has more things for your bathroom project than anyone. In stock and all at guaranteed everyday low prices.
Install it yourself, or we can have it installed for you.
We've got Kohler, American Standard, Delta, and more. So much stuff you can build a whole new bathroom at Lowe's. But take it home first. When it comes to home improvement,
Lowe's knows.
Trevor's been taking Sentinel for a whole year. Our vet says Sentinel prevents deadly heartworms, and it prevents flea infestation, even in summer. And now it has a great beefy taste.
Only Sentinel protects against heartworms and fleas with a single monthly tablet. Dogs should be tested for heartworm prior to use. Digestive, skin, and neurological side effects may occur in a small percentage of treated dogs.
Ask your veterinarian.
Sentinel means protection.
I swear I understand.
Sometimes, when you hug a corner, you may actually hear it, gasping for air. Intrigue. State-of-the-art steering and suspension systems. Intrigue by Oldsmobile. Start to command performance. Start something.
Oh, good morning. I got started today doing some layout work for the railings of the porch. And the first thing I did is mill up some balusters. This is the New Yankee Workshop, and nothing gets thrown out. So I just happen to have some short pieces of redwood, which I ripped and planed into 1-inch square blanks. Now, since this project is going to be used by children, I think it's a good idea to round all the edges. So I've set up my router shaper table with a 1/4 inch round over bit to take care of that. These pieces are for the top rail. They're 1.5 inches thick and 2.5 inches wide. And I want to bevel the top to let the water run off. So I've set the saw at a 15-degree angle, and I'll run each edge through. Now for the bottom rails, I want to also bevel the edge, but I want to leave a wider flat spot in the middle for this piece of lattice, which is going to connect the balusters. The saw blade leaves a rough cut, which will be noticeable. So to solve that, I'm going to make a pass through my small joiner. The key to this baluster system is this little piece of lattice. I attach it to the balusters with a couple 3D galvanized box nails. Now we'll just flip it over and put the corresponding piece of lattice on the other end. Now I simply attach the baluster assembly to the rails I made earlier with some more of those galvanized box nails. Well, that looks great. Now I think we have just enough time to build a window box. The bottom of the window box needs a series of holes to provide for drainage. The leading edge of the bottom of the box is cut at a 15-degree bevel, and I did that at the table saw. The side of the box is also cut at a 15-degree angle that I did at the miter box. Both pieces are attached with some screws through pre-drilled holes. The front of the window box has its top edge beveled at 15 degrees, but I don't bother to bevel the bottom edge. The back is square cut, no bevels. All right. Well, I could go all day building little goodies for this playhouse, but I think it's time that I should get the paintbrush going. Okay, I think that takes care of everything that has to be primed. Now, on all the trim, I'm going to be using a dark green latex paint. And on the body of the playhouse, I'm going to be using a latex stain that will be a camel or a golden color. Well, now you start to get a sense of the finished color scheme. But I'm not going to know for sure if it really works until I move it to its final location and get some kids to play in it. Olivia, are you making us a nice lunch today? All right. And Kayla, you're going to take care of feeding the baby. Molly's watering the plants. Sophie's cleaning up the yard. Everybody's doing a job around here. Boy, I sure wish I had one of these when I was a kid. This brings to a conclusion our season of projects that you build for children, toys and furniture. I hope you get to build some of these projects in your own home workshop. So until next time, I'm Norm Abram from the New Yankee Workshop. Hey, Molly, you going to push that wheelbarrow around?